Let's do it.
Okay, everyone, this is it. We're ready and we're going to get started now. If you have any distractions, this is the time to close them off. We're about to begin the explaining to you the digital asset strategy that generated $213,928 in affiliate income and 2,589,567 page views from Google in the past 12 months. We're going to break this down for you. We're going to break down this exact strategy in as much detail as we can, and hopefully by the time we're finished, you'll be able to go off and start building a digital asset, a site like that for yourself. So a few things before we get started. We have a lot to cover, so we are going to move fast. We are going to have to break down an entire business model in about 60 minutes for you. There will be live examples on the screen. There will be links coming and going and a lot of different points moving back and forth. And it's really important, if you want to get the most out of this distraction, to close out of this presentation, to close any distractions and keep your webinar screen up in front of your browser. Keep looking at it. We are not going to be able to go back for people who missed examples or links. Just wish we could, but we just don't have enough time. So make sure that you are watching carefully. Last thing, like I said before, you will get the most out of this presentation if you take it like an interaction. We're live here. Andrew and I are talking, and whichever one of us is not presenting at the time, we'll be there to answer questions in the questions box. So in the questions box, you can type anything that you want, interact with us. You can ask us questions if it's something that you want to know or something you're curious about, or if you like something that we say, you think it's a good insight or a valuable point, or if you're ready to take action on something, just let us know in the questions box. Now, don't forget, at the end of this presentation, we have a gift for you, and you're going to get it. You're going to get a confidential report of the 5 digital asset business ideas that you can start today. This is a great report. Andrew wrote it. He put a lot of research into it. It's got profitability calculations with special tools that we have custom developed for us, and they're real ideas there for markets that we think could be profitable, and sites that you can start to earn money from as soon as possible. So make sure you stick around for that. And you have now given us your time to come and attend here tonight. So in return, we're making 4 promises to you. And these are the 4 things we're going to show you over the next 60 minutes. The first one is to show you how you can build a 5 or 6 figure per year income from your own digital asset. This strategy that we'll show you generated 213,000 in affiliate income for us in the last 12 months. We are also going to show you our second promise is to show you how one article can earn you $76 a month, just $76 a month, but then you can replicate it to make 10 or 20 or 100 of these. And on the top of the screen, you can see that 76 is actually low from what you're seeing here. What you're seeing is a bunch of rows. Each row represents an article, and on the right-hand side where the red arrows are pointing is the earnings of that article in 1 month. So the lowest one in this screenshot was $72, and the highest one was $444 in a month. And we'll show you live examples of how exactly you can do that. Promise number 3. We're going to show you how to generate an unstoppable flow of organic targeted traffic to your asset without having to keep paying for it. You can see here on the screen, it got us more than 2.5 million page views in the last 12 months, and that is a whole lot of page views. Promise number 4, how to sell this asset anytime you like. For 30 times its monthly profit. This is something that's just not possible with many web businesses. Just imagine if you even get a small site, even up to $500 a month, you can then offload it for one lump sum of $15,000. And actually, we are going to show you an example of somebody who literally did that. They actually attended the previous presentation. And see him here now, but you'll definitely see him in the slides. You also meet our students. This is a group of people who have taken the digital asset strategy and are now earning $500 to $50,000 per month with this. I've had $50,000 and more lump sum paydays. They've quit jobs one time with their families, taken holidays every other month, and more. Now, obviously, there are a lot of online business models, and I assume this is not the first webinar you have attended and may not even be the first business model you've considered starting, but this is really different from what you're used to for a few reasons. First of all, the digital asset strategy doesn't require any hacks or flash in the pan techniques. We're talking about a sustainable long-term income building. Number two, this strategy has a rare capability to earn both a steady income and to let you cash out. So you can build up an income with it, let it pay the bills, let it support your lifestyle, and then on top of that, after you've taken that income anytime you want, you can also take a lump sum payday by selling your site anytime that you want. Another way that this is different is that in this model, you can take advantage of existing interests or passions and then leverage them for traffic and income. And that's something that you don't see very, very often. With this model, you can take advantage of those interests and passions and earn an income. And last, it allows you to earn an income while being truly valuable and doing good in the world. Andrew and I are big believers in doing that. You can do all this even if you only have an hour a day to work on it. Even if you're starting up for $100, that's about how much it takes to get started with this strategy. You don't need to create your own product, no funnels, no customer service, nothing like that. You don't need to invest in inventory. You don't need to pay for expensive paid advertising. No Facebook ads or AdWords are required at all. Just all that is possible with this business model that we're showing you. Now, we've got to go through this also and tell you who we are. It will take about 90 seconds, but it's important that you know who we are, because in this business, if you listen to someone, it's important that you know if they're credible, who they are, before you actually take information from them. And that's what we're going to cover in the next 90 seconds. So Andrew and I have been doing business online, making sites like these for a combined 20 years now. We've had some good successes, which you'll hear about in the rest of this presentation, but our first years were marked by time spent that resulted in nothing and a lot of hard work online for little or no reward, kind of like banging our head against the wall. We both had the experience of getting somewhere, like getting a small site off the ground or planning a new business and for months and spending long hours seeing it get off the ground and then kind of flop, or seeing our income disappear. We both got into debt. Andrew borrowed money from his mom and from his friends. I didn't borrow money except because I wasn't earning anything. We didn't have enough to pay the bills and got into debt that way. We both worked really hard. Andrew would come back from his day job and work until 4 a.m. most nights, and I always had a baby or a toddler around. I have 7 kids actually, and I would try to catch half an hour, any time that the kids were napping or they were sleeping, and work them. And we worked hard for about I think both of us for about 2 years, but because we were really stubborn, and we knew that somehow we could get it to work because we saw other people succeeding, we both eventually had something click, and we had our aha moments, and we saw things take off. And that takes us to the happier part, where we can tell you now that we both individually built businesses that sold millions of dollars worth of products in various niches. Thanks to our businesses, we've been able to work for ourselves for the past 10 years. We've been able to travel and have time with our families. And for me, that's why I did this. I wanted to be able to spend time with my family, and that's the most important thing for me in this, what we're doing. We've been able to, this is what we're most proud of. We've been able to teach our strategies to other people, helping thousands of people generate income of their own with our methods. So Yeah, that's pretty cool, Andrew, don't you think?
Yeah, I think you summed it up nicely there. The the next thing, now that we've done the 90 seconds, that's the introductions out of the way, meet and greet, hello. What I want to talk to you about first here is, what Sarah and I call the big problem, okay? A lot of people want to have this kind of business that we're talking about, that we've built with this, these simple websites that earn an income while they work from home, but not a lot of people do, okay? We've spent a lot of the time that we've been teaching this method trying to think about why exactly that is. There's a lot of people that talk about this, and there's a lot of different solutions offered, but I want to tell you today what I think is the biggest the biggest reason that takes place. This is a point where if you're taking notes in the webinar, this will be a good one to write down, because the thread of what I'm about to say here runs through everything that you'll see next, okay? So if the question is, why don't more people make six figures with their websites? The answer, I believe, is that they get forced into these wait and see business models, wait and see strategies. They have to wait and see if what they're doing is going to work. Usually, they've never done it before, so they don't recognize the things that they come across, and they don't know if they're on the right track or the wrong track until it's too late. I'm going to describe a little scenario here, and I want you to type a message in the chat box to tell me if you recognize this as ever happening to you. It has definitely happened to Sarah and I, and I'll be surprised if we are the only ones. One way of phrasing this problem is that there's simply too much uncertainty, right? Uncertainty makes businesses go badly. So this happens really often where you're following someone's strategy. Okay, maybe you've bought a course, maybe you've read a blog post or read something in a forum that somebody wrote. You get started with the strategy, you do the first couple of steps, maybe you get a site up and running, you try to get it traffic, and something, and these questions start to arise. At some point you ask yourself, wait a minute, did I pick the right niche here? Is this the right market that I've entered? Is this the right product to sell? Maybe I've picked the wrong thing to be promoting as an affiliate or selling this info product. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe I should have done that other one instead. Is this the best way to be getting traffic? Maybe you start out with trying to get traffic from Google, but then some guy writes a post on his blog about how he's getting tons of traffic from Facebook, and you start thinking, wait a minute, oh, maybe Google, maybe this part was wrong. Maybe I should have done that. That seems much easier. That seems better. You're basically waiting for the thing that you're trying to work. You're not knowing what's going to happen. You're waiting and you're hoping that it will work. You're really hoping that it will go like they said it was going to go, but you're just guessing because you don't know yet. That's the experience of most people starting a business like this. It's a really difficult feeling, especially because you're trying to be productive in among that. You're trying to actually get things done and grow this new business of yours. Instead, you end up going from, it starts with anxiety, where you have a thought like, wait, have I made the right choice here? You start to doubt what you're doing from the beginning. And from anxiety, you go to frustration, where now you recognize that it's not going how you want it to go. And you start to ask why. Like, why is this not working? Why is it working for the other people and not working for me? That one can be really punishing. And then by the end, you end up at disappointment, where now it absolutely hasn't worked, and you're just angry at yourself. You say, I can't believe that I didn't know better. You beat yourself up, right? I can't believe I wasted my time on this. I can't believe I wasted my money on this. And from there, that's when you feel the worst, and that's when you want to start the cycle again and try something new, right? Tell me in the chat box if you've ever experienced anything like that. Don't embarrass me by pretending that it's only me.
People are really describing specific situations. This is so resonating. Uh, we're getting people saying, "Is this the best way to get traffic? Is this the best? Is this the best thing that I'm doing? The best product?" Very much resonating. Lots and lots of yeses.
It's constant, guys. It never stops, especially when you're just getting started in this business. All of that guessing, all of that uncertainty, it's just bad. It makes your business go worse. It prevents results from happening. When you have to guess, it's hard, it takes longer than it should, and you end up wasting a lot of your effort, which is the worst possible thing. You want to try to be efficient so that every bit of time you spend on the business gets the highest possible result, and you end up with the opposite. Okay, so Sarah's going to tell you now why what we do is the opposite to that. Okay, we don't do this wait and see stuff anymore, and there's 3 good reasons for that. Sarah, I'll leave it with you.
Yeah. Okay. So 3 good reasons why our digital asset strategy avoids this wait and see and gives you certainty as opposed to uncertainty. You want to show the reasons on the screen, Andrew? The first reason is that we have the resources to know exactly which niches and products are going to make us money before we even start, and we're going to show you how to do that. The second one is that we built our own tools to tell us exactly the best opportunities to rank and get traffic and exactly how much they're going to make us before we start. And the third is that we can use those insights to apply strategies that maximize the amount of profit for the time and money that we invest into an asset. So in other words, we don't do uncertainty. There's never a point where we're taking an action or following a path or trying to promote something where we don't know what's going to happen. There's never wait and see, and then instead of uncertainty we have certainty, and this is our alternate universe. Here's an example of a piece of software in our alternate universe that calculates the profit potential of an opportunity that we found. And you can see here that it's telling us that this opportunity has the potential, if we maximize it, to generate $407.68 in revenue. Now I have to explain, this is before we even start, before we enter a niche, before we do anything. This is pre-researched. We know this in advance, and that's what it looks like in the alternate universe. You only pursue things that are proven beforehand that they will make you money, and you know how much money they're going to make you, so you can allocate your time and effort accordingly. Now, if you have that, if you have what we have, and I think you're going to realize and believe by the end of this presentation that if you have this level of resources and these kinds of tools, then this result that you're seeing on the screen here with 2.5 million visitors and 213,000 in affiliate commissions are totally possible. So for the rest of the presentation, we're going to talk to you about these 4 tactics from the alternate universe. There are 4 ways that we do things differently than the majority of people and why they contribute to the results that we have gotten. So here are the 4 tactics, and we said we would tell you when to take notes. Now is a good time to take notes. First of all, we are going to explain to you why we don't do niches anymore, why marketers pick tiny niches out of fear of competition, and how to make a killing in big markets using smarter analytics. We're going to show you how we build one $76 a month income stream at a time, and how to scale that kind of content creation to turn $76 a month into $760 a month and $7,600 a month, and you'll see examples. We'll show you how we leverage real publicity, and this is really cool, how small sites like ours can get waves of traffic and promotion from massive publications without even asking for them. We're also going to show you the cash out option, how and whether to sell your little site at 30 and even 40 times its monthly profit. So these are things we're going to show you. Be ready, because Andrew's going to take over now and he's going to dive in. He's going to go at 100% speed and explain these tactics. And if you have any questions, I'm going to be in the questions box answering them for you as fast as I can.
All right, guys, we're going to do this now. We're going to take this right from the top, okay? So the goal is that you're going to be able to follow along with us here and take as many action steps as is feasible. So number 1, no niches. Most people who go into this business start by niching down. They want to try to find the smallest market they can so they can profit as quickly as possible without bumping into any big players. This approach is fine. It certainly can work, and Sarah and I did it for a really long time. But what we learned, having done it for so long, was that it has a few really important downsides, a few really significant ways where it limits the amount of money that you can make and kind of just makes your life more difficult. This is what those three things are. The first one is that when you do this, you have lower potential. Any small market that you go into has a ceiling on the amount of income that you make. Once you say everything there is to say, you talk about all of the products in this tiny market, you write about the things that there are to write about, there's no further you can go. So maybe your income stops from this site at $500 a month or $1,000 a month. And at that point, if you want to go any higher, you have to start another site. When you start another site, and if you end up with a number of sites like we've had in the past, it's very hard to manage. It's hard to manage, and also you lose what is very important, and I call compounded effort, where every time you start one from scratch, you have to go back to the beginning. The most difficult part of a site like this is at the very start. That's when everything moves the slowest. It's like pushing a boulder, right? In the beginning, to get it to move is the most difficult part. But once it's rolling along, you can push it along with your finger, right? Every time you go back to the start and start a new site, you push that boulder again from a standstill, and you lose out. You lose out on all of the resources that you built up from the first site, all of the knowledge, the market intel, everything else. Any relationships you built up in that market, they don't help you anymore in the new market. Any results you got, the authority of your domain name, the traffic of your site, all of it means nothing when you start from scratch. The last thing is that, yes, it's true that the competition is scarce. You can get started in these tiny markets very, very easily, but that comes at a cost because the opportunities are scarce too. There's just not as much stuff to talk about, to monetize with, and to profit from. When you take this approach, and Sarah and I have been here far too many times, it can sort of feel like this guy, where because everything is small, so are the results. And you can end up feeling like you're doing a huge amount of work for not enough reward. We don't want to do that. I think there's a better way. This is the first of what I think will be a handful of game-changing takeaways in this webinar. So another good one to write down if you are taking notes. You can get the benefits of going niche, that is the lower competition, the quicker results, without actually going niche and limiting your potential. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how that's possible in a second. Digital asset strategy tells you to go big. Pick a big market for the exact or for the opposite of all of those same reasons. When you pick a big market, you have high potential. You have an unlimited ceiling for income from that one single easy to manage web property. You have the snowball effect of your efforts, where everything you do, all the resources, all the relationships, all the results, all the authority, everything you build up with that one site propels forward all the future things you want to do on that site. When you want to enter new areas of that market, you've got this big base to do it from. When you want to promote a different product that you haven't promoted before, when you want to build the business out into different avenues, all of everything you already did makes everything you want to do next easier. It's the opposite of everything you did counting for nothing when you start a new site from scratch. Okay, you get this snowball effect. The longer you do it, the faster your results go. You get this kind of exponential curve upwards in your growth, and you're going to see some examples of that on traffic graphs later in the presentation. The opportunities are plenty in a big market. They are unlimited, and the competition is still scarce. Now, this is the point where if you're listening, you say, wait a minute, Andrew, you had me up until there, but that doesn't make sense. How is the competition scarce in a really big market? Isn't that what makes it a big market, that it's so big, there's so many people in it? How can that be possible? Well, what you're going to see is that every big market, every single one, has lower competition corners, all right? You use software that we're going to show you to find the lowest hanging entry points in a big market. You find the easiest places you can make money in the big market, and you build outwards and upwards from those. And the bigger your site gets, the more competitive areas of your market that you can take on. You couldn't have taken them on as a brand new site from day one, but once you've got some momentum and you're doing well already, then you really can. You're constantly building outwards and upwards from that one low competition starting point. I'm going to grab a sip of water. Maybe you can just tell me quickly if you're following in the chat box. That would be helpful.
Yep, people still following, and lots of questions in the questions box that I've been answering. Looks like everybody's getting what you're saying, Andrew.
All right, everyone's still with me? Got the screen? Got the audio?
Yep, everything good.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
these are the big 8 markets that you want to choose from, okay? We're going to put the markets on the screen in a second, and you are going to want to pick an area from within these 8 that has so much to cover, you can't ever imagine getting through it all, okay? So imagine writing about all of the fishing rods that ever existed. You couldn't possibly do it because by the time you got to the end of them, by the time you'd done the work and talked about all of them, new ones would have been made and manufactured. It is a dynamic market where there's always something new. The same is true for something like digital cameras or for skincare creams, all right? They're really big dynamic markets. Here are the big 8. Number 1, technology. 2, health and beauty. Finance, relationships, food and drink, automotive, home and garden, and hobbies. Okay, you're trying to pick an area within that 8 that has so much to cover you can't imagine ever getting to the end of it. Now, with the big 8, this is very important. Understand that what you're going to do is find something underneath that big 8 that you couldn't cover all of them, like fishing rods, but then fishing rods are not going to be your market. You are not going to create a site that's like fishingrodreviewer.com, okay? Fishing rods are a product. What we want is a market, and markets are about people, not products, okay? So if you thought of fishing rods, your market's going to be fishing. If you thought of digital cameras, it's going to be photography. Skincare creams, it's going to be skincare. It's important to me that you tell me that this makes sense because this is a crucial distinction with this model compared to other people who teach this, compared to other ways that are commonly done here, okay? You are going to serve people, and people don't just need product reviews. They like, it turns out, shockingly, lots of different things. That's what we're going to aim to accomplish, all right? So when you do this, it means you never have anxiety around which niche to pick, right? You never ask, did I pick the wrong one? You can't pick the wrong one. If you have something that fits the criteria I just described, it has to be right. There has to be a way for you to find a place within there that has low enough competition for you to get started. It's just a matter of running the software. That's what we do in step 2, okay? It can't be the wrong niche. You can't ever be guessing about what products to sell in your niche. You don't have to guess. They're an unlimited number. It's only a matter of digging through them to find the right ones. You will never go into a niche and find out later that it's not going to be profitable. All right, that is a terrible thing to have happen. It happens to people all the time. It cannot happen here. The only thing that you can fail to do is to find the right product to promote. And even that, as you're going to see next, is pretty difficult when you're doing it right. Okay, no uncertainty. Remember that theme? This is a student of ours called Eben, and I put him on the slides here because he's a good example of how this goes when you don't pick that tiny niche, okay? Eben's a student of ours who I was following up with him recently. He built a site of his to around $2,000 a month, and he recently sold it for $56,000. He took a lump sum payment, $56,000, and he thinks he even could have gotten higher for it if he had done a couple of things differently and maybe done it now compared to when he did. Anyway, Evan said to me, before I heard about this method, I was plodding along. I was only able to crack 3 figures in affiliate income. Within 6 months of starting my first course with Andrew, I was able to take an existing site to 4 figures a month. I sold another site for $56,000 last year. He said, I only wish I'd learned about this earlier. This business has given me more time to spend with my wife and 3 boys, and I can now offer them the opportunities in life they deserve. I thought that was really cool, and it was tied to the strategy of picking these bigger markets, because he was able to sell that for that fee, I think, at least in part because that the market that he picked was one that other people thought they could pick up, take off him, and run. If you pick this tiny niche site, you make it more difficult for other people to want to buy it from you as well. That's just another bonus. Okay, quick question before we move on. I need to check in that you're hearing this. Do you think that you can do what I just did there? Do you think you could pick one of those 8 and drill down like I did from hobbies to fishing rods to fishing? Give me a yes in the chat box. Remember, at this point, you don't have to analyze profitability. You literally pick them off the screen, okay? We're going to get to the analyzing profitability. That comes next. All you have to do is that first part.
Lots of yeses, lots and lots of yeses. So
that's what I want to hear.
Looking good.
All right. Told you it's 100 miles an hour. We're going to roll straight into the next bit of strategy now. Next, we're going to talk about these $76 income streams. If you can find one little corner in that big market with low competition, you can publish an article there and turn it into a $76 a month revenue stream. I'm going to show you a real example of that coming soon. When there is one corner in a big market, there are always more. If you picked one of those from the screen, you're never going to come to the point where you'd say, oh, look, there's just nothing else I can do in this market. There's no other opportunities that are low in competition. They're always in groups. By scaling your publishing, one $76 a month income stream at a time, you can go from 1 to 10, and then suddenly $760 a month. You can go as high as you want with this. But the point, or one major point here, is that $76 a month is a low one. You saw this screen at the beginning of the presentation. $76 a month is on this list of 5 that I grabbed a screenshot of from Amazon. It's the second lowest one on the list. It goes from $76 to $376 to $444. They're individual articles about individual products or sets of products, and that's their monthly revenue. Okay, how do you do it? Let's look at a live example. So because I was thinking about fishing in the previous slides, I started poking around in the fishing market, and I found this really good example called sonarwars.com. This is not our site, but this person is at least getting this first part of the process, and it's going to help me demonstrate this principle to you really well. So this is a simple website. This guy's just got a WordPress blog. He's got article content on here, and he's writing about these. They're like marine GPS devices. They're called fish finders. He's writing reviews of fish finders. When you go onto his site, an article looks something like this. That's just a section of it, of course. He's got these, for those of you who have never seen this before, I'll just go over it quickly. He's got links in the article that go to Amazon, and when you click on the links, he earns money when you buy this product. Okay, so the fish finder is there, it's available, $650. When you buy through this link now, this guy earns, I don't know what it is exactly, something like $15 in commission. Okay, so he gets $15 every one of those that he sells. Generally, that's the process of making that $76 a month income stream. Okay, now tell me that you couldn't do what you've just seen there. Okay, this guy's website is WordPress. That's just point and click. You get the domain name, you slap it on there, get the site up, put a theme on it, and you start writing. That's point and click. Absolutely everybody listening can do that. And then he's just got articles, right? He's just got written content. Sara has a method for, even if you didn't know anything about fish finders, how you could write an article like his in about an hour, starting from absolute scratch, okay? There is no secret sauce. There's no magic to that part of it, okay? Everyone should feel like they're with me, following, and able to do everything we've talked about so far. That thing, however, is the method. That, in the broader sense, that is the method. That thing, like that fish finder article that he wrote, that's like ours. Ours, I'm happy to say, much better than that, but that's the general he's doing the same thing that we're doing, right? If you had one of them, it has the possibility to generate something like $72, $76, $376 in a month, okay? So your thought process now should be, how can I do as many of them as possible? the last part of it is, of course, that this guy needs to get traffic from somewhere. So the way that I found him is I was poking around in that niche, and I found Garmin fish finders, and I was searching for Garmin fish finder reviews, and there's that guy's website at the very top. Okay, he's ranking there, he's getting traffic. People run that search, they come to his site, they click on his links, and he earns a commission. Okay, that's it. The whole process of getting one of those $76 a month articles you've now seen. There's nothing missing, right? You get the thing to write about, you actually write about it, you make it rank in Google, and then you've got the $76 a month. Okay, 100 of these, you've got $7,600 a month. Now, this is the point where you say to me, all right, Andrew, hang on a second, slow it down. It's all, I agree, it's all easy. It's easy to start a little website. It's easy to do the writing, but it's the getting it in Google. That's the hard part, right? Actually getting it there, making it rank, making Google show your website compared to all the other websites. You might think that I'm about to say, no, you know what? It's not hard. Super easy. Just press a couple buttons on a magic software that we have, and you too will rank in Google with no effort in the next 5 days. I'm not going to say that. The reality is we don't need to sugarcoat it. That is hard, okay? Getting a site in Google, doing search engine optimization, it's hard. It's hard to know the perfect keywords to target. So why, for example, did that guy end up ranking for Garmin Fish Finder reviews rather than everything else he might have ranked for? It's hard to know how to optimize properly, how to make it so that when you've found that keyword, your site actually comes up for it. Google knows that you should rank for it compared to everything else. It's hard to build links. Some of you guys listening have done that in the past. It is time consuming and can be expensive. It can get very technical. There's sides that are the sides to SEO that are so technical, I don't even try to understand them. And I've been doing this my entire adult life. It is not a joke. Most people who try to get ranked in Google give up. And honestly, I don't really blame them. Okay. So like playing this game, trying to get traffic from Google, a lot of times reminds me of this picture where there's a small number of people, and I'm talking about experts, agencies, bigger companies, who have this incredible amount of data at their disposal, and they can run a huge amount of analysis. They have resources that make it unfair for them, that put them so far ahead of an everyday website owner in terms of their ability to get traffic in Google, that the everyday website owner ends up looking like this guy. You're just ready to get stomped on, right? Full disclosure, Sarah and I have been doing this for a long time, and after 11 years, and mainly due to the fact that Sarah is a software developer, we have some unfair advantages. We don't have to do this the way that most people do it. We use custom software tools to compile, then analyze hundreds of thousands of data points. We can find opportunities for ranking that are buried in lists of tens of thousands of keywords. These are the kind of opportunities that you could create a good article for and then rank for, even if you are terrible at search engine optimization. Okay? These are things you could rank and get traffic for without any need for technical skills or the technical side of SEO, without the need to wait around forever to see results, like opportunities that you could capitalize on quickly. And I'd like to show you, if I may, exactly how that works. So pretend we're starting in the fishing market, okay? The first question in my fishing market is, okay, what am I going to promote here? What am I going to sell? So there's 50,000 products in Amazon right now for fishing. It is very hard for somebody to start there and go, okay, let me scan through 50,000 of them and try to find the best one, try to find the one that's going to make me the most money. There's hours and hours of research involved in that. You don't want to have to do that, and you can't do that at scale. This is a software we use to take this first step in the process. So we drill down in this software to the category that we want. It's called fishing, right? You see it at the bottom of the screen. I click the button at the bottom for check category. When I check category, I see something like this. From 50,000 products, this software brought us back 38 products that are actually worth our attention as affiliates. 38 products where there is a certain amount of popularity where the price is high enough for us to earn a good commission, that we know are selling because there are real reviews, and that are favorable compared to the other ones in the market because they beat out those on those criteria. Okay, from 50,000 to 38, there was one click. I clicked check category, and this is what it showed me. All right. So at this point, pay close attention here. We're going to keep moving quickly. Now we have a product. So in this fishing market, it actually told me about fish finders. So it's obviously an interesting opportunity for affiliates. The next thing, so at this point, we've cut out tens of hours of affiliate research. That's done. We still need something that we're going to rank for if that's ever going to make money, right? What's it going to get traffic for? The next step is that we analyze every known keyword related to fish finders to uncover the hidden gems, the tiny places in this big market where even somebody who's bad at SEO can rank and get traffic. Have a look at this. This is a little bit hard to explain, but you have to imagine this spreadsheet where over on the left-hand side, there are all these kinds of keyword opportunities. And on the right, there are all these data points about all of the websites that are ranking for every keyword that there is to do with fish finders, okay? Literally tens of thousands of rows of data here. Generally, what you're looking at here is a screen where the software works by color coding the opportunity. So when you see red, that means you're not going to be able to rank there. And when you see green, it means you at least have a chance. So of all of the keywords and every single site that is ranking for all of those keywords, this tool allows us to find, like this one that's highlighted, the one site, the one opportunity in amongst tens of thousands where for whatever reason, there is a site that's ranking that we can beat. Okay, there's a site that's not that high in quality, somebody can beat even if they're bad at doing SEO. Okay, it is literally impossible to do this yourself. No human brain can scroll through search results and provide this amount of analysis. You can't even do it with other keyword tools because they stop at the point of telling you, okay, that keyword is a 6 difficulty, that keyword is 10 difficulty, whatever. What does that really mean in terms of whether or not you can rank? This is where it shows you an exact opportunity, an exact site that you're going to overtake in order to get that traffic, okay? It's only possible to do this with mass data analysis and software, okay? So the last piece of the puzzle, I'm going to take a sip of water. I want you to keep thinking about the certainty, right? So now we have certainty over the product that we're going to sell because we got confirmed with the software that it's a real opportunity where we can get a real commission on a product that's definitely selling. We've got certainty over where we're going to get traffic because the next software told us that there's this one rare opportunity in among tens of thousands for you to rank even though you're not good at SEO. Okay, so that's the traffic taken care of. The last thing you'll remember is we don't ever want to go into one of these until we know exactly how much money it's going to make. Okay, so how are you going to be sure that that thing is profitable? So what we do is we gather up all the information. Oh, by the way, I hope you saw that example. That the keyword that was, this one little example in fish finders, it was side scan fish finders. It's just one kind of fish finder that happened to present us this opportunity to get traffic. So the next move we make is to gather up all of the data that we can on side scan fish finders, and we plug it into this profit calculator. Now that we know we can get traffic, we have to finally confirm whether we can definitely make money. So we plug it in, and it looks like this. Well, it looks something like this. The profit calculator then will tell us that an opportunity like this stands us to make approximately $407.68 every month. Okay, that now is perfect certainty. Okay, there is no guesswork at any point in this process. Now I can proceed targeting that opportunity, knowing exactly what's going to happen. I've still got to do the work, of course, but I know that when I do, that's exactly how I'm going to be rewarded. Okay? Does anybody start to understand why that is so much different and so much better than the way most people do this? Send something through in the chat box.
Yeah, people are saying yes. It really makes a big difference when you have that certainty in your life.
It's a difference to the results, and it's a difference to how you feel. You don't have to feel the frustrating feelings of uncertainty, and it really will work where it hasn't worked in the past. This is a student of ours called Catherine, who She is really good at picking these opportunities and having certainty, knowing the right market standard, and knowing the products to promote. Catherine has got a little site now that's doing $3,500 a month, and she said that it spikes over the holiday season. In her own words, she said, "It's not the highest earning site, but it's a nice income for little work." She said, "That's not to say I didn't work on it in the beginning, but the income now is relatively passive. There's nothing special about the site. Anyone could do the same by following the same training, and part-time too." That's Catherine. Catherine's got a really cool story. I'm going to try to tell you more about that later. She sent this example from her Amazon account. This was during her spike last year. It's over Christmas time when you need a little bit of extra money the most. She earned almost $10,000 in that month. That is what can happen when you don't do uncertainty anymore. Okay, when you pick great markets, great products to promote, and you know beforehand how it's going to do.
Do you need a break,
Right, I'm going to
Andrew? Do
keep
you want
going.
me to continue, or you can keep going if you want, but if you need a break and a drink, I could continue, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, you take this one. Let's do it.
All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is how to leverage real publicity. Most people who try this kind of business stop right there, like the site that Andrew showed you before. And that's good. I mean, the person who has this kind of site is making money, but it's not great and it's not the best that you can do. Most people stop with this. They have this little small kind of site, maybe a little bit ugly, and it just has product reviews and nothing else. And you've probably seen sites like that. The thing is that because not many people like that kind of site, because it's boring and aggressively commercial, it's really, really hard to find ways to promote this kind of site. So what they end up doing is resorting to all kinds of risky link building tactics. Maybe they'll post in forums and get kind of spammy. Maybe they'll end up having to spend a lot of money in advertising and paying for traffic a lot. And that is not what we do. That kind of thing, getting spammy forum links, and that's not the way to get millions of visitors a year, like you're seeing in this screenshot and like we got. What we do is leverage real publicity, and I'll explain.
Hey,
There's a way for small sites to get enormous traffic, lots of exposure, and authority, and links, if you understand SEO, from massive websites. And you can get this kind of press without even having to ask for it. Uh, I think I'll give it back over to Andrew. Andrew will show you an example of a site that leverages real publicity like that.
cool. Yeah, I just got distracted doing questions in the chat box and I didn't have a drink of water like I was supposed to. But at least people got answers. Okay. Guys, this is another really cool website I want to record and have a look at after the webinar. This is a digital asset. It's called outdoorgearlab.com. And the previous example, Sonar Wars, was a relatively new site. It's a small one. It's doing okay, but this site has been really successful. It's been very successful, and now it's quite big, but it is still at its heart and really on the surface still an average person's a digital asset, right? Like it's an average site like the kind we make. It's not very fancy. The logo is, in my view, kind of goofy, hand drawn. There's not enough white space around it. The header bar at the top is really thin, and the content is just the stuff that we do, right? Best trail running shoes for men in 2018. It's just a kind of product roundup post. Okay, there's nothing that this site does that you couldn't do. Well, unless if you did trail running, then you could probably do it yourself. You need the expertise, but that's another issue. I'm going to show you something that's crazy. I was poking around at the promotion that this site has done, and I found some astounding things. This is an example of where the Outdoor Gear Lab got a piece of publicity from Forbes.com. Okay, Forbes, the business website, ended up writing something that mentioned Outdoor Gear Lab, and they got the link, the publicity, the traffic, and the effect, the impact of that. Forbes, a massive website, like a massive syndicated paper website magazine, and not even in their niche. How crazy is that? There's another example. Bloomberg, also not in their niche, not running shoes, finance. Finance, and this paper, massive syndicated paper, wrote about humble little outdoor gear lab. There is more. IBM, for some reason, on their blog, or one of their blogs, mentioned outdoor gear lab. Couldn't wrap my head around that one. And Popular Mechanics, that was the other biggest name that I could see just at the first look I had on the list. I would bet they have lots of these. Popular Mechanics, again, newsstand kind of magazine. Humble little outdoor gear lab is getting press and attention and links and traffic from them. You have to really think about how significant this is, how meaningful it is to imagine that sites like the ones we make could accomplish something like that, could get that kind of publicity, as long as they know what to publish, for one, and they know who, if anyone, to contact and what to say. I put the who to contact part on there mainly as a precaution, because some of this press we get by asking for it, but most of it, and that's not an exaggeration, most of the press that we've gotten from this has happened without asking. You don't even ask. We were joking on the webinar this morning. Sarah and I are always talking on Skype, and we trade examples of where our sites got a really incredible piece of press that we didn't ask for. Sarah will be like, oh my God, look at this one. I got a magazine today. And I'll be like, oh, I got this university website today. It's incredible. No asking, no paying for it. In the last 12 months, Sarah and I have gotten free publicity from international university websites, from major magazines, from local governing bodies, from industry-leading web publications, national associations. It actually still shocks us today that, coming from the days of like when we started building these tiny, crappy little affiliate sites, that now properties that we build are getting mentioned on this international scale. It still blows our mind. But it's crazy how possible this is without paying and without even asking. Okay. This is one that I wish we had time to teach in more detail on the webinar. Sadly, we don't, but it's important to at least acknowledge what this means for you, because this is different to how things usually work when you're promoting a site. What this means is that your commercial content can rank even if you haven't promoted it. That is the other stuff, the stuff about the trail running shoes. It ends up rising up in Google because of the promotion you did of this other content, because of the links you ended up getting for free and without asking. Your whole site moves as your publicity and your authority in the market increases. It means you never resort to black hat techniques. You don't have to try these cheap link building tactics and promotion strategies and posting in this forum here and blog commenting over there. You don't need it, because you get so much promotional power from a tiny number of these really good quality pieces of press that other bits of promotion just take care of themselves. The last thing is, you absolutely destroy competition when you have links like this. The majority of marketers that will make sites like yours in the beginning do not know how to do this kind of thing. They don't know, and they don't want to. And when you do this, it just puts you so far ahead of them. It becomes crazy. What about in terms of traffic? What does this mean? Well, excuse me. This is an example of a friend of our site who's got another digital asset that's done really, really well. In the middle of this graph is a point, it's in about March, where he got a blast from a really good piece of press that he did. From the point where he got that blast, for the next 6 months, his traffic increased by 80%. Now, he did lots of things in that 6 months. It's not that this one thing was absolutely definitive, but it started this kind of snowball that led to all of this other promotion. And this is the organic traffic, by the way. This is not the traffic that came from the actual articles, from the publicity itself. This is the effect that it had on search engine traffic. 80% growth in 6 months, and his traffic was already pretty high. Okay, that's about 110,000 unique visitors a week, by the way. If that's not enough traffic to make money with, I don't know what is. So, quick question before we move on. Do you think, if you got publicity like that you could beat other everyday marketers in your niche? I think you could. You have to remember, even a tiny number of these mentions, even if you can only do this a little bit, it can just put you miles ahead of the competition. So last thing, we're going to talk now about cashing out for 30x. No time to waste. I want you to quickly, Sarah might drop this link in the chat box for you. I want you to have a look at empireflippers.com/marketplace. This is a marketplace where people that have sites like ours are selling them to investors and business owners for lots and lots of money. The top arrow is a site where somebody's making $2,100 a month in profit, and they're selling their site for $56,000. The second arrow there is somebody earning $7,940 a month, and they're selling their site for $222,000. That's pretty cool. That has to make you excited if you build assets like we do like this. That potential is always around the corner. I like to look at this table of potential as I'm building up a site to have always in the back of the mind what kind of exit is possible. So if you build up to something like $300 a month, which remember may only be 3 or 4 of those $76 a month articles, right? If there's 3 articles that make $100 a month, you're doing $300 a month, and you could sell for $9,000. Is anyone who couldn't think of something that they wouldn't mind doing with $9,000? If you get to $1,000 a month, you can get a $30,000 payout. Now you're talking about pretty significant money, and it's not that much on the front end. $1,000 a month is very achievable. You've already seen at least 2 people, is it 3 now? 2 on this presentation that are making much more than $1,000 a month. You're going to see a handful more. That is achievable. At the top end, it gets crazy. If you get to $3,000 a month, you're talking about a $90,000 a month, sorry, a $90,000 lump sum payout. And if you can build a site up to $10,000 a month, you can take a $300,000 payout from your site. I mean, that's winning the lottery for the majority of people, right? That's possible with this. The big question is whether you do it or not. So you have to decide at some point during the growth of this site whether you want to cash out or keep taking the income from your site. And there's no, excuse me, there's no right or wrong. It's mainly just a personal decision on this one. So maybe you want to take a holiday, for example, some dream holiday that you've always wanted to take. You build up the site for a little bit, you let it earn the income, then you cash out, you build it to $300 a month, say, take $9,000 and take off on your holiday, go traveling for a couple of months. That wouldn't hurt. Maybe you want to buy a car, maybe you need to replace an existing car that you have. It's a good reason to take a lump sum payment. Maybe you have a wedding that you want to pay for or some other family occasion, big birthday party, something like that. Maybe you have some debt that you want to pay down. Those scenarios are really good ones that lend themselves to cashing out of a site like this. And you just don't need to build it very high to get a really significant payout. What's so good about this is that after taking all the income you want from this business, you can then take an extra 30 months as a lump sum payday, okay? So you can have this thing pay the bills and then exit it whenever you want and take the cash. I just think that's so cool. And that is just not possible with the majority of these cheap hack online business methods, okay? This works because you're building a real business. You're building something that has real value that other people recognize. This is a student of ours who has proven that this is perfectly possible. He was actually on our first workshop this morning. So Matt recently sold some sites of his that he built with this method for $50,000. I was following up with him recently to see how he was going, and he said, the sites that I built using Andrew and Sarah's methods, I sold on Empire Flippers for $50,000. It gave me enough money to quit my job, to travel, and I'm now building a new site that's nearing a decent wage already. So he cashed out. He just started the process again because he knew exactly what to do this time, and now he's already built up to almost making a decent wage again from the site. It's incredible. He said it pays all my bills and it gives me the freedom to do what I want when I want. Except buy a Lamborghini. I'll leave that to the guys in the sales videos. I thought that was cool. That's Matt. That's what's possible when you cash out. Okay. I had planned to be able to tell you about these 6 tips for selling at 30x or above, but because this is kind of further down in your process, you won't need this information for a while. I think we might just shoot them to you in the chat box so you can kind of keep them on your computer for when you want to do this in the future. But just know that for now, especially if you follow these tips, you can not only get 30, but as much as 40x on your monthly profit for this cashing out. Okay. Quick question. I'm just curious about what how you guys are seeing this. If you built one of these assets up, would you cash out or would you keep taking the income? What would be your preference? Type a message in the question box. Let us know.
This is always an interesting question to see what people would prefer. And income is the winner. More people want to keep taking income than to cash out. And a whole bunch of people are saying both, which is always nice to keep taking the income. And then when you're done with that, you get a lump sum.
Yeah, the people saying both are the ones who have got it sussed, because that's the point of this, is that you can do both. Usually you can't, but here you can, and you may as well take advantage of that. All right, we're going to keep moving straight on. I want to quickly recap the digital asset business model now. Okay, so number one, step one, I want to make sure and type in the chat box to me to confirm that you understand this, because this has been the whole point of the presentation. If you tell me that you don't get it yet, I'll be upset. Well, I won't be upset, but I'll try to help you understand it. Okay, number one, pick your market and maximize. Sorry?
You're scaring people.
Sorry guys, too intense. I'll turn it back. Number one, pick your big market and maximize income potential. Okay, that's the first step. Go from that big 8, drill down and find your market of people, not of products. Number two, drill down to the easiest corners and start publishing. Okay, you grow content streams, one $76 a month income stream at a time until you reach your goal level of income. Step three, you explode traffic and revenue by integrating real publicity. You don't resort to cheap link building tactics and low quality promotions. You do real publicity, and it makes it so much easier. Number four, you keep growing and scaling to increase your income, or you cash out for a payday at 30 times your monthly profits. That's it. I want to ask you guys, and I'd like to hear from you in the chat box. What do you think? Did we keep the 4 promises that we made at the start of this presentation? I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. That's great. It means we're doing our job. Guys, the question at this point is, do you think that if you had the kind of unfair advantages that you've seen here, that you could do it too? That's the point, right? That's why you came to this webinar, not just so you could have fun looking at how we make money, but so that you could learn how to do it yourself. Do you think you could now, having seen the process laid out like this? Another yes or no in the chat box would be helpful. How does that look, Sarah? Is there enough yeses?
Lots of yeses, a lot.
Cool. The reality is, and people always ask us this, you can do it without this, right? Everything we've shown you, people can do it without doing that, and we know because we did it, right? You can do it with no systems, no software, no certainty. You can work with free tools that are available, and you can piece a strategy together from a webinar here and a blog post over there, one thing at a time. This is exactly what we did when we got started, okay? It's possible, you can do it, but talking about myself, I had to go into debt, borrowed money from friends and family. That is a thing I definitely don't recommend anybody doing. I had to live with my parents. There's no way that I could have paid actual rent while I was trying to get this thing off the ground. And it took me routinely working till 4 a.m. in the morning after coming home from a day job. So I'd do 8 hours, I'd just come home and just sit on the computer until I couldn't keep my eyes open any longer, just banging away at the keyboard, trying to make it happen. And even then, it still took 2 years to finally click. Okay, so you can do it without this. That doesn't mean you should want to do it without this. The other option is you take the fast lane, right? You can, if you choose, you can slash the learning time by following just one proven plan and following it consistently. You can multiply the results by using software like we showed you to 10x your output on research. So you just cut out all that wasted, erroneous time. And you can end confusion and frustration and impatience and just start getting to your dream income already, okay? Just like another student of ours, like Nathan, who's got a really great story. Nathan and I were emailing recently about his site and how he was going, and he told me this story. I'll just read out quickly because it just paints such a good picture of what's possible, not in terms of money, but in terms of life with this business. He said, before I had this business, I was spending well over 60 hours a week working at a stressful full-time job. My job was not the easiest environment to work in. 2 weeks of the month, I'd have to work overtime, usually till midnight. He said, this made me lonely, sad, isolated from my friends. In addition, my boss was demanding, hard to work with, unsupportive. She demanded that I worked 60-hour-plus weeks like she did. He said, I felt like the life was just sucked out of me every single hour I was at work. Fast forward to today, I've implemented what Andrew and Sarah taught, and I'm still implementing it. My one website is generating a solid $2,500 a month on average, and I've had a huge month in December when it made roughly $13,000. But the best part is I spend on average 1 hour a month on my website. It literally runs on autopilot, and I'm so happy because I've gained my life back. In fact, last September, I was finally able to leave my 60-hour-a-week job. I go on vacation every other month. I spend quality time with my wife and baby. I've gained freedom, lifestyle, and a business that works around my life. Everything has literally transformed before my eyes. I love that story. Nathan shared the screenshot of the spike that he had last December, where he got up to $13,900 in the month. Okay, that's one simple website he works on 1 hour a month. That is abnormal, right? Guys, we want more stories like Nathan. So Sarah and I are opening up a new program today for the first time. Everything that you need to build this business for yourself is included in what we've called Digital Worth Academy. And if you are serious about building this business, I would like to take a second to explain to you what this program is and how it's helping people, because I really believe that there's nobody listening to the words that I'm saying right now who doesn't have it in them, that doesn't have the potential to be able to do something like what Nathan did, all right? The program includes every single thing that we used to generate $213,000 affiliate commissions in the last 12 months. All of the training, all of the strategy that you've just seen, all of the software, all of the tools, all in one place. What can Digital Worth Academy do for you? It can help you quit a job you're not excited about anymore. It can help you earn an income working for yourself, where your income grows according to your effort rather than according to whatever your boss says it should be. It can allow you to live and work from anywhere you like. It can give you more time with your family. It can give you a proper holiday every year, or maybe every other month, like Nathan, without having to ask permission too, which is crucial. It can give you a stress-free retirement. Guys, if you're willing to put in the work, you can attain the kind of comfort and freedom and fulfillment that everyone deserves, but that few people are lucky enough to find. The way that Digital Worth Academy can help you achieve this is with the 7 components of the program, okay? I'm going to run through quickly what those 7 components are so that it makes sense in your head how easy it would be for you to accomplish this if you had the same access to the same resources that these people had, okay? So first, Sarah and I have compiled painstakingly in video documentation every single thing, our entire process from starting a site to getting it traffic to collecting your first check, broken down into tiny chunks. So you just do one action at a time, and you look up months later and suddenly your site's getting traffic, and then later it's making money, and suddenly you're at an income, right? You follow the steps, you take what we have done, you replicate it, and you profit for yourself. There is no stone unturned. There is no hidden thing. There's no upsell, no like extra strategy that you need to spend more money on. Every single thing we do is listed in the digital asset blueprint. It's taken us this whole year to put this together. It's valued at $999. The second thing you get, this is absolutely crucial. It is the most valuable part of the program. We are opening today a 6-month business coaching program. What that means is fortnightly, for the next 6 months, you will join us for a live coaching session. Sarah and I and our team of coaches, you'll be able to ask us anything you like. You'll be able to get personal help and attention as regularly as you need it. Not just on these coaching sessions, but inside the membership, you will have us and a team of coaches who are available by email, support desk, even Facebook Messenger for personal attention anytime you want it. You're never building this business alone. At all points, you've got somebody there to ask for help and to give you help, okay? This means you will never be confused. You will never ask, what do I do next? You'll never say, I don't understand. You'll never say, I can't do that part. There's always someone there to help you out, okay? This is one major unfair advantage, right? When you have a mentor, which both Sarah and I had, by the way, the process of building a business like this just goes very, very differently. Component number 3, you have Commission Wizard, okay? Remember the software that we use to sort through 50,000 products and get to these 38 products that are really worthwhile selling as affiliates? That's Commission Wizard. Commission Wizard 2.0, actually. Some of you guys have seen a previous version we did of this software. Sarah has been working madly on it this year, and now it's a new version. You get 2-click discovery of high payout commercial opportunities in your chosen market. You click those categories, like I said, you hit check, and it tells you what it is you should promote. You avoid hours of affiliate research, and you find better, more obscure opportunities that regular folk won't come across. It helps you increase your profits by focusing on the highest payout products in your market first from day one, okay? The value of Commission Wizard is $299. Component number 4 is you get DKM Elite software. That is the software that helps us find these rare opportunities for traffic in amongst tens of thousands of sites ranking for tens of thousands of keywords, okay? The one little opportunity in the sea of red, that's what Diamond Keyword Miner helps you find. This software quickly lets you find those rare commercial opportunities that represent $76 or more per month income streams, where you can get traffic even if you're bad at search engine optimization. DKM Elite helps you avoid hours of keyword research and focus from day one on the places in a market where you can create $76 a month income streams the quickest and the easiest. With this program, you can do unlimited discovery of new corners. So you can use this over the life of your site to just keep finding one opportunity for traffic and income, another one, until you reach your goal level of income. The value of DKM Elite is $299. The component number 5 is Profit Calculator. Profit Calculator is the tool that after you've done all that, it scans over what you found and tells you in advance exactly how much money you stand to make from individual opportunities that you found. Okay, you saw the fish finder example. You saw this shot of where a different opportunity can generate you $407.68 in a month. The point is you'll know before you start. That is absolutely crucial. Okay, Profit Calculator, that one's the easiest to explain. That one just is such high quality, such good value, and so simple. Okay, the value of Profit Calculator is $199. Component number 6 is you get access to the Digital Worth community, all right? This is underrated. It's not the thing that people get excited about until they're in it. When people are in the community and they're building a business like this, rather than on their own, tapping away in their lonely spare room, it comes home to them. It makes all the difference. The Digital Worth community is a private members forum, a private Facebook group, a small mastermind group, the ability to coordinate your own groups. It is the capacity to never be alone when you're running this business, to never feel like no one knows what you do. I don't know if any of you guys have had that feeling before. For me, it's constant. It means you always have somebody to celebrate your wins with, and you have constant encouragement, okay? You're not just tapping away in the dark with nobody knowing. This group is incredible professional networking. It means you meet real friends, you block out naysayers in life, and you stay accountable and focused on your goals all the way to the end. Component number 7 is the staff Rolodex. This is referrals to professionals that we've personally vetted who can help you get things done when you don't want to. So if there's any part of the process that you don't have time to do, you don't want to do, you don't like doing, there's someone in our membership who will be able to do it for you. And it is a professional who is incredible at doing it, somebody who does it for a living, okay? Whether it's somebody to set up your site, somebody to create your content, somebody to promote it with real publicity, any part of the process you can hand off to one of these people and they will do it for you, okay? The staff Rolodex is valued at $497. It's taken us our whole careers doing online business to meet these people and to vet them and to prove that they can do what they need to do for you, okay? So here's a quick recap of what you get with Digital Worth Academy. You get the Academy Blueprint. That is the whole digital asset strategy laid out for you step by step. That's valued at $999. You get the 6-month business coaching program. Us holding your hands, coaching you live, personal attention as much as you need for 6 months. That's valued at $3,999. You get Commission Wizard software. It's valued at $299. That's helping you find all of the opportunities, the things to promote. You get DKM Elite software, helps you find the places that you should get traffic most easily and quickly. That's valued at $299. You get the Profit Calculator software that tells you exactly how much money you're going to make before you enter a market. It's valued at $199. You get the Digital Worth community. That's a lifetime access pass. You never get kicked out of there, right? That's valued at $699. And you get the staff Rolodex, all of our contacts for being able to build this business, to do the things that you might not have the time to do, want to do, or like to do. Okay, it's valued at $497. The total value of Digital Worth is $7,675. The downside here, guys, is that spaces are highly limited. This is a live program, and because it requires so much personal time and attention and focus, the numbers have to be limited. If too many people get into the program, we just can't do it for everybody. Okay, so it's a shame, but it just sort of has to be that way. That means joining Digital Worth is first come, first served. We are opening the program today, and we will close as soon as we reach capacity. Okay, the first coaching session, Sarah told me this morning, I got this wrong on the slide. The first coaching session is actually this Thursday at the moment. We're kicking off, the kickoff introduction call is Thursday, August 23rd. I have to make it clear at this point that this is a once every few years kind of a thing, right? Sarah and I are rare among marketers who do this kind of stuff, where we spend most of our time building our own sites, and then every now and then when we feel like it, we open a program like this. The last time that we opened a training like this was 2.5 years ago. Okay, we've had people emailing us in the last couple of weeks as we've been building up to this webinar who wanted to join then 2.5 years ago. They didn't get around to it for whatever reason, and they're just hoping that they get a chance this time. And sorry, they were asking for early access to make sure that they didn't miss it again. Okay, it just doesn't happen very often. So guys, the bottom line is we've put together a program with $7,675 worth of real world value, but you're not going to pay $7,675 for it today. The question to ask at this point is, what's 6 months of business coaching worth? I wanted to give an accurate number when I talked about this, so I actually went to Google, and you can do the same search if you want. Google says that business coaching generally is up to $250 a session. It's $250 a session, and a good coach typically takes a percentage of the increase in your income that he gets. So I don't know why I said he, just the coach takes 8 to 25% of your income. So that could be an enormous amount. If you end up making $1,000 a month, they take $250. It means that weekly sessions for 6 months, and you could already be looking at $6,000 and a cut of your profits. Sarah and I are providing here 6 months of coaching, ongoing support after that, an entire degree in this business model with the digital asset blueprint, and a custom suite of software tools to go with it. And we're not asking for a cut of your profits. Okay, so when I was trying to work this out, I thought the next logical step there is, it's not going to be $7,675. The next step is $5,000. Okay, if all this did was got you to $1,000 a month in income, would it be worth paying $5,000 for? Okay, a one-off $5,000. If all it did was put gas in your car, paid the bills every month, would that have been worth paying $5,000 for? If you ended up with $1,000 per month asset, if that really happened for you, remember that you could sell for $30,000. Would that have been worth paying $5,000 for? That's a rhetorical question. That is a mathematical certainty that it would be an incredible return on investment, even if you got to the low level of $1,000 a month. Guys, fortunately, Sarah and I are opening Digital Worth Academy for this one rare week, and because it's the start of because it's only available this short period of time, we're doing a special launch promotion where you're not going to pay $5,000 for it today. You're not going to pay $4,000. You're not even going to pay $3,000 for it. You're able to join Digital Worth today, complete access to all 7 components for 3 payments of $797. In fact, we've got a way for you to get started for even less than that. If you visit this link on the screen just now, you'll be able to go through to a special order page where you can get a further discount. You can get a $394 further discount, cheaper than 3 by $797 for one single instant payment of $19.97. Okay, so the step one is you go to that page, digitalworth.com/order. Sarah is going to drop the link in the chat box there for you now. Make your investment. The $394 discount is currently available, and from there you'll get sent your email and password to log in to the course. It might take a couple of minutes, but it won't be far away, and you can log in and watch your first video. You could have picked the market in the next, well, let's say next hour if you're really trying. Imagine that. From that point on, you're on our team, guys. We're ready to do absolutely everything, whatever it takes to make this a success for you. When you join Digital Worth, of course, you are covered by 100% money back guarantee. That is risk-free. You have 60 days to try it for yourself to confirm that it is definitely right for you. If at any point during that you decide that it's not for you, we will happily send you your money back without asking any questions. That's 60 days risk-free, 100% money back. You will see the full guarantee at digitalworth.com/order. Sarah and I know that there are a lot of options that you seem to be presented, and sometimes it's hard to make sense of who is serious, which of the teachers are serious about their business models, which of them are willing to actually put their money where their mouth is when it comes to telling you to join them. So sometimes a refund guarantee isn't enough, right? Sometimes if you find out down the track that it's not going to work, it's not enough that you just get your money back. What about the time that you spent trying to make it work? What about the opportunity cost, right? So for this program, Sarah and I are doing a thing that maybe we'll come to regret, but we think it's the right move to put our money where our mouth is. We are offering a double your money back guarantee when you join Digital Worth Academy. What that means is that if you follow every step of the process without deviation, if you implement the system exactly as we show you, if you make use of our support and you're still not making money, we will buy your business back off you for the price you paid to access the program. That means we refund your program costs and you get paid for the time that you spent. Think about how crazy that is. This is how confident we are that if you follow the process, you will get results. When you join this, you have absolutely nothing to lose. The worst thing that can happen is we end up buying the business off you and paying you money for it. We know this is the best decision you'll ever make, and we want to give you every possible reason to make it. So what to do right now? Go to the URL at the bottom of this screen and fill out the registration form. Log in. As soon as you're finished, your order will be completed. You'll be able to log in straight away to the private members area. And I want you to go to training and module 1. That's where you'll watch the first video of the blueprint, and you'll get started on the process to picking your market and making your first digital asset. Step 3, follow the instructions to start picking your market. Step 4, get ready for the first coaching call on, that should say Thursday. Guys, your income producing digital asset is waiting. It's just waiting for you to get started on it. You can get access now, digitalworth.com/order. Sarah and I are going to offer a special fast action bonus now for people who recognize that this really is their opportunity. If you're on the fence about this and you're not sure, we want to give you a reason to just dive in here, okay? We know that once you've made the decision, you'll never regret it. You'll never look back, and you'll end up like somebody like Nathan or Catherine, but we know that it can be tricky to make this decision. So we're going to offer it for the first 20 people who order on this webinar, okay? And if you've already ordered, I want you to put your name in the chat box quickly to say that you're in, so that we can record your name for the purpose of sending this bonus. You will receive a private 20-minute one-on-one Skype call with Sarah or I, okay? This will allow us to give you unique insights into the best approach for you to follow. This will allow us to give you specific advice for your skills and interests, and make recommendations according to what makes most sense for you. We will be able to tell you what you should do to get up and running as quickly as possible, given your time, budget, and experience. The value of this is $149. You will get it for free if you are in one of the first 20 people to join on this webinar. Sarah, have you seen those come through yet? I just want to make sure you've got those.
I'm so busy answering questions. Let me check 1 second. We just got a really cool comment from somebody in one of our previous programs who said that we helped him make $30,000, and I didn't even know. Isn't that cool? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, so people are signing up. We have right now about 12 people signed up, so there are 8 bonuses
Okay.
left.
Okay, so still 8 bonuses left. They probably won't last till the end of our time talking, but the point is to reward the people who are ready to take action and jump in on this straight away. So we're going to keep going here. Again, if you're just joining now, if you're in the middle of filling out the order form, just type in ordering so that we know, so that we make sure you don't miss it when you cross over the 20. Guys, imagine if all this made you was $15,000. Imagine if you joined this, you made 3 payments of $797, and all it got you was $15,000. That is exactly what happened to a student of ours recently called Gary. Gary had this crazy moment where he'd been working on building up this site of his, and he didn't even go and list the site on Empire Flippers himself. He had somebody contact him privately and ask him whether he wanted $15,000 for his website. When he told me, I actually thought it could have been spam. I told him to be cautious about it because it didn't sound real. It was absolutely real. He not only sold his site, he only sold a part of it. He sold part of his site for $15,000. He got to keep another part of the site that is still making him money now. How crazy is that? He didn't even have to do the work of listing the thing and putting it live, convincing somebody to buy it. Somebody came to him. Imagine if that was you. Imagine if all this did was $15,000. Guys, what does it actually mean? I always find it's one thing to talk about amounts of money, like, oh, wouldn't it be great if you had $15,000? Wouldn't it be great if you had $5,000 a month? But there's things that this income and this business means that are more than just an amount of money in the bank. This is a student of ours called Sharon, and I think Sharon was on the webinar at the beginning of this presentation. I wonder if she's still there. Sharon made $3,799 last month, and I was following up with her recently to see how everything was going. And she wrote me this email, and I'm going to read it out to you because I really love Sharon's story. She said, with a chronic illness and a teenager with autism who needs a fair amount of attention, working in a regular job was getting hard. I'd made a few attempts over the years to build a business online, but without much success. When I stumbled across your program, I knew it was exactly what I was looking for. I would never have achieved the results I'm seeing today without it. The support you gave, not only in the application of the training, but in acknowledging and helping us push through the mental barriers that hold people back, was invaluable. She said, so many of my friends are now envious that I get to work from home on my own online business during the hours that suit me. I love doing this, and I couldn't have done it without taking that leap of faith and investing in your program. On the right, there's a screenshot from Amazon from Sharon's account for last month. You see $3,799. I just love that. Sharon is going to be around too in this new program. You're going to be able to meet Sharon and talk to you herself. Sarah, one guy on the webinar earlier today said to me, can I get the names and phone numbers of the students that you've talked about here? Like he thought they weren't real. And I didn't get to write back, but I forgot to tell him, you're actually going to be able to meet them. That you're going to see them around the group. You can talk to them as much as you want.
Right. Yeah, they're there. I
But
actually told him that.
don't talk to them too much. They've got work to do. They're busy. Come on. But so, I didn't tell them that I was going to tell people to contact them when I put them on this webinar either. They're going to hate me. Sorry, Sharon. Guys, I want to take a second now to answer some common questions. We're going to do a full Q&A now, so it's worth sending some questions through in the chat box if you have them. Sarah, would you be able to do common questions here for me so I can get some order?
Yeah, definitely. So first question, can I do this from outside the US? The answer is yes. Both Andrew and I live outside the US and we're doing it. And a lot of the people that you've heard about in this webinar, a testimonial, and you've seen screenshots, they are also outside the US. Next question, can we do this as a newbie with no technical skills? The answer to that is yes as well. We've got you 100% covered with that. We have videos that show you step by step exactly what you need to do with all the details. In fact, we build a site and you watch us build that site so you can just see what we're doing, kind of like standing over our shoulder and copy what we do. In addition, when you're watching the videos in the members area, there's a little button that you can click and get in touch with our support desk. And we have support staff who specialize in technical issues that are extremely helpful, and they've been known to even record videos for people who weren't sure how to do something, and they help them with that. And in addition, we're going to have the coaching calls where you can ask us questions personally. We've got you covered in all ways. And Sharon, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you're there, but I believe that Sharon did not know how to create websites and have this kind of skills that we need for this before. How much time will I have to commit? This is a situation where the more time you commit, the better. We recommend a minimum of 1 hour a day, and that's definitely enough for you to get started. Next question, how much will I have to write? And it's a great answer. How much money do you want to make? Because if you think about it, if one article that you're writing makes you $76 a month, and when you want to write more and more of those, and just get more and more of those $76 a month income streams. So it really depends on how much money you want to make. And like we said, with a minimum of 1 hour a day, you should be fine. Question number 5, is this just for Amazon or other affiliate programs too? And the answer is also for other affiliate programs. Amazon works really nicely, but you don't have to use it. I noticed some more questions, so I'm going to answer them as well. And Andrew, I don't know if you have a slide with more questions, but if you do, you can change to that slide. In the meantime, interesting question that came up a few times is, what is Fortnite and how often is the coaching? So the coaching is every other week, and we try to...
Say that, Fortnite. Is that an Australian thing?
I don't know, Andrew. I have no
Who
idea.
doesn't say Fortnite? Oh my goodness, I didn't realize. Now I've
Yeah, a
excluded
few
people
people...
unnecessarily.
Now people are going to ask if you have to be Australian to join this. No, you do not have to be Australian to join this. In terms
Australian
of...
is optional.
Australian is optional, yes. The coaching sessions, we try to do them at different times of day, so they work for people in different time zones. We record them. You have the option to ask questions in advance, so that if you can't make it, you can ask your question, we'll answer it, and you can listen to the replay. Of course, you can also contact us as the support desk, and we'll help you that way. The coaching sessions are not mandatory, meaning you can get all the information you need in order to follow the training from the videos in the members area. The coaching is more to give you extra. We answer your questions. We might give you some extra updates and extra interesting things that we'd like to share with you. And they're actually fun. You actually will enjoy them. Yeah. You want to say
Just a
something?
quick update on the bonuses. I don't think there's any left now. I just saw a couple of more people come through and type their name in. A couple of people said ordering now. Yeah,
Yeah,
Zaparudin. Great
we
name.
Andrew, we just zoomed past the 20, and people are still ordering, so the 20 bonuses are gone.
Okay. A couple more questions, guys. If you have them now, it would be a good time to ask them. I'm going to come back to that point about writing. Oh, actually, no. If you've got one, you go first.
Yeah, so people are asking, can I use an existing website? And the answer is
Should put
that
that on the slides.
oh, you can answer it, Andrew.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people come to us with existing sites, and what we do is to do a little analysis of them, an inventory of them, to be able to tell you whether or not they're worthwhile using in this program. Sometimes they are, but sometimes you've just done things on them in the past that's going to saddle you with some burden moving forward. And in that case, it's better to just start from scratch. It's better to just start a new site so you don't have to worry about that stuff. And you can open yourself up to more opportunities by doing that too. So it's a maybe is the answer to that.
We have a definitive answer for you that Americans don't use Fortnite.
I can't believe this. I can't believe that I've unintentionally excluded people. I usually like to intentionally exclude them. That's
Yes,
another story. Someone said hosting. Yep, we'll talk about that. That's in section 2 of the course. Sarah will teach you all about the right hosting to use. Somebody said the bonus. Yes, we've still got the gift link to give away, the 5 digital asset business ideas. That's coming really, really soon. Somebody said
I'm going to answer a question now.
Corey is in. Go.
A few people asked, are there any additional costs to the program? And the additional costs are basically a domain name, which costs about $10 a year, hosting, which costs about $5 a month, and this keyword research tool that we recommend that costs $37 a month, but you really only need 1 month of it. So that's the amount that you need in order to get started, in addition to joining our program.
Corey just told me Canadians don't use Fortnite either. And you know what I said to him? Sorry, eh? Boom. Canada joke with a terrible accent. I'm sorry about that. All right. Somebody said, do we still get the yes? We've covered that one.
Someone is asking if you have to buy the products you're reviewing in order to write reviews on them, and then says, no, you don't have to buy them. You can do the research online, see what people who bought it are writing, and base your reviews on that.
Any other questions, guys? Now's a good time to send it through. There's a couple of other things I want to show you quickly after the next couple of questions.
So another question that I saw coming up a few times is, do we need more than one website, or do we place multiple products on one website? We recommend actually that you use one website. That's what we found has worked the best. The numbers that you've seen, they're all based on one website. That's what we do.
Okay, guys, I want to show you something else cool here, right? This is a weird story. I literally put this into the slides about a day before we came live because it was just such a perfect example of how cool this business model is and how much opportunity there is for interesting, weird things to make you money, that I had to tell you about it. So I was in an Uber the other day, and the driver got talking to me about this new thing that he'd gotten for Father's Day, which was a Bluetooth enabled tire pressure sensor. And he was pointing it out to me and showing me how it tells him this about this tire, and this one's in a different pressure, and it makes his car safer and whatever. And because I'm an affiliate marketer, I nodded along. And when I got home, I straight away went to Amazon. I was like, do people really buy these things? What's the deal with this product? Anyway, I found there's tons of them. They're much more popular, of course, in America than in Australia. And I ran the numbers on it through our tools, and I found that this thing, it's called a, I think it's called a tire pressure sensor, or Bluetooth tire pressure sensor, something like that. I ran the profit calculator, and it's worth $203 a month. If you're writing about these, if you had an automotive site or a site on which this would be relevant, you could just add a $200 a month income stream to your site, just like that. How crazy is that? The next thing I did was I thought, you know what, it would be great if somebody was already talking about these. So I poked around a little bit. Sure enough, there's a website that has reviewed Bluetooth tire pressure sensors, and they are making the money that we could have made. Well, even though they're there, you can still go in. There's still so many keyword opportunities. That was just the first one that I came across. Isn't that cool? Anyone like that example? Anyone who knew Bluetooth tire sensors were a thing?
I know I didn't.
Who was ignorant? Guys, there's a lot of stuff that you've seen in the presentation so far, but for me, and I know for Sarah too, it keeps coming back to what this business makes possible. All of the details you can work out, all of the things that you don't know, like what you're going to promote, exactly how you're going to get traffic, exactly whether you're going to be able to write this article or that article. All of those details are things that can be worked out. The end goal is the ultimate thing. It is the thing to keep the eyes on. You met Eben, who just had such a great story. He's doing so well with his sites now. He's able to give his family opportunities that he couldn't give them before, right? That is a just enormous and tangible change in the quality of somebody's life, thanks to this business. You met Catherine, who now are working 1 to 3 hours a few days a week, does $3,500 a month, which means, remember, that she's got a payout waiting for her something, if she wants, something like $90,000 or $100,000 now. She's somebody who started the business kind of like Sarah did because she wanted to stay at home with her kids. She wanted to be able to be close to them without having to go out for a day job for 8 hours a day, and it kind of came together for her. It really worked. That's cool. That she will tell you, and she actually did in her little testimonial thing, that she's not somebody special. Anybody could do this, right? You met Nathan, 60-hour a week job that had been just crushing him, getting him down for such a long time. It's over now. That's finished. He feels like he's got his life back. His site, and Nathan's a crazy guy who works on lots of different things at once. This now is kind of a side project for him. He has all this free time and he spends it on building some other businesses, on traveling and hiking and hanging out with his family. And again, that's what's possible. Okay. Matt, similar story. He built these sites up. Matt's somebody who just gets this process now, so he can just replicate it in whatever way he wants. He built up some of the sites. He took the cash out for $50,000, and then he traveled for a little bit. He quit his job because he didn't like that, and now he just started again. He starts from scratch. He builds up another site. It's already starting to pay his bills now, approaching a decent wage. He said he's got the freedom now to do the things that he wants to do when he wants to do them. That's just such a rare thing in life, and I can say, being fortunate enough to be able to have lived a life this way for the last 10 years, I wouldn't trade it for anything. We'll take a few more questions now. I saw a few more things come through in the chat box there now, but we're getting close to closing things down here now, guys. Sarah and I have had way insufficient sleep in the last 12 hours. We need to do that. If you do have any further questions, send them through in the chat box. Now, it's so cool to see so many of you guys who have joined us already. We can't wait to meet you inside the membership. You're with us now, right? We've got your back. Whatever it is that you need to make this business a success, we're going to be here for you. Not just us too. Our coaching staff, the other members of the community, you're going to come to feel like this is a second home for you.
Definitely. Andrew,
I think it was Valora said to me before. Sorry, Sarah, I just keep rambling. I just said one last thing.
Ramble ahead.
Valora said to me in the chat box before, she said, how did you know that I was tapping away in my spare room? I said, because I'm tapping away in my spare room. Like, that's the point. We've all been there. We know what it's like to build this business, and we know the difference between doing it by yourself in a dark spare room at the back of your house and doing it with a group of people who are like-minded, who want to achieve the same things, who spur you forward, who help you when you're having a tough day. It's completely different.
Right. People are still signing up. I'm seeing a few questions from people too who are trying to sign up and are having a hard time. You can try a different browser, first of all. That's the first thing I always recommend. And if you're still having issues, you can contact our support desk at support@digitalworth.com. At any time, if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact them. Our support desk is very, very helpful. And if you need help signing up, or if you need help with anything after signing up, then you can contact them. Same thing goes for the one or two people who said that they signed up and still haven't gotten their login details. I see here that we're getting a lot of signups all at once. So even though normally it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get your login details by email, I think that right now, because so many people are signing up, and by the way, thank you very much for signing up and trusting us, and I look forward to seeing all these new members in the members area. So because all these people are signing up, it could take longer. So what I suggest is wait, let's say 30 minutes. If you still haven't gotten it, of course, look in your spam folder just in case, but you can contact support@digitalworth.com and we will help you find your login details. We'll send them to you. One other question, Andrew, I think you also want to say something, but this is a question that came up a lot. Can we repeat the big 8?
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
for sure.
tell you how many people said that.
Okay, here they are from memory. I'll try to do it in order. Technology, health and beauty, finance. I already forgot number 4. Uh,
Relationship,
nice. Relationships,
food and
home and
drink.
gardening, food and drink. There's
I'm
only one that we're missing now.
automotive and hobbies, and I'm cheating because I'm reading this from the slide on my computer.
That is not funny. That's not funny at all. I was actually, no. All right. There's another couple of really good questions that came through here. Somebody said, is every article you write on the site a moneymaker? That's a really good point. I don't know if you saw the part of the presentation about generating real publicity, but we mentioned there that when that site, Outdoor Gear Lab, gets press from these massive websites, and it's the same for other sites, not just theirs, those big websites don't link to product reviews, right? They're not promoting, oh, this Andrew wrote a great product review of this toaster oven today. You should totally check it out. No, there's another kind of content, and that's what the knowing what to write for the publicity is all about. We do not build sites that are filled with just money-making content. There's a range of things that a good site like this can do to be helpful and valuable to the people who are interested in the topic. And in the course, starting in section 3, you will learn all about what those things are. Sorry, Valora, she's upset that I used the toaster oven example again. I know, it just is the first one that comes to me.
He can't help it.
It's no. Oh, free gift. Yep. Let me. What? Yeah. One more second. John took a screenshot of the 8. That's a smart man.
Yeah, screenshot is a great idea.
Okay. Someone said, can I do this if English is not my first language? You can, but definitely helpful to get help with the writing of content. A lot of people have done that. It works perfectly fine. It's just easier to not do the writing yourself. It means you'll have to have a little bit more of a budget. There'll be a little bit more, money to spend getting that done, but it doesn't change the effectiveness. Some people asked on the last webinar about the costs of getting articles created for you if you don't want to do them yourself. And so there's no single figure. There's a range of costs of getting content like this done, these $76 a month articles. But at the low end, I wouldn't want to go for the quality that you want for this. I wouldn't want to go much lower than $50 an article. Some people do. I don't know how they do it or even why, but that's what it is. And then somebody says, oh, $50 a month for every article that I want to write, really? That's a lot of money. And I say, it's $50 a month for an article that has the potential to earn you $76 a month. Not only that, you're not just going to pick all $76 a month opportunities from the profit calculator. You're going to come across ones that stand to make you much more money than that. Is it really so bad to pay $50 for an article that might make you $200 or $300 a month in the next few months? There's certain things that it really pays to think about as an investment in this business, just like any business, right? You put in time and effort and a little bit of capital if you have it, and it turns into a return down the track. John is in. Welcome, John. Good to see you. Sherry's got a question about payment plans. You might have to send that one to the support desk. Sherry, Sarah's going to send a link for you for that in a second. Dave really needs to get to bed. Yeah, Dave, I think you should be safe ordering this in another 8 hours time if that's when you're going to be waking up. And if you like, yeah, we can keep your name there and make sure that you still have a spot in the morning for sure. Thanks for letting us know. That's a big help. Okay, let me go to this quickly now. I want to quickly, hang on a second. Brad, got your question. Let me just type an answer here. Okay, guys, for the last time here, I just want to recap what's in this program to make sure that you fully understand exactly why this is so helpful and why it's going to help you reach your income goals as quickly as possible. What you get is, firstly, the blueprint. Every single thing that you need to do, everything that we didn't have time to talk about in the webinar today is documented in the blueprint. It is an enormous amount of videos that you'll go through just one at a time, a couple every day for as quickly as you like, but there is no stone unturned. Nothing is missing. All of the strategies for picking markets, picking products, creating a great site, making content, getting traffic later, the whole thing is there. Nothing is missing. Okay. Part two is the coaching program. This really is, I hope we made it clear, the most valuable aspect of this. This is the thing that other people aren't willing to give you. Because Sarah and I do this so infrequently, we kind of just arrange our lives around the fact that for this period of time coming up, we're doing essentially nothing but helping students of this program to accomplish what they want to accomplish. It's one thing to create a course. Lots of people, lots of business owners who teach this stuff can do that, but somebody who's actually willing to spend their time with you, answer all the questions you have that you think are silly but probably aren't. Not many people are willing to do that, but that's what we do. We actually kind of like it. I love being able to see people progress through this. I love hearing the questions. I love seeing people think through this and solve problems and make progress. It's fun. We love it. It's not just us though, it's the whole team of coaches. Okay, you've got just so much help. You'll have too much help. More than likely, you will be sick of us before long. You'll be like, oh God, here's just another email you sent me on, oh, why is it's another post on Facebook? I can't handle all this help. That's more likely than the alternative.
It's true.
You get the Commission Wizard software, Commission Wizard 2.0. You get, that's a new version. Again, some of you guys who have seen that in the past, you're going to get some upgrades, and we're going to be working a lot on that actually in the coming 6 months. I'm really excited about the potential for that to keep developing. It's valued at $299. Commission Wizard, a couple of clicks. You will get addicted to using this. We had people that this happened to last time where they actually stopped going through the videos because they couldn't stop just clicking the button and seeing what interesting new products came up in their niche. Do you remember that, Sarah?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So you found the products, then you got to find the traffic opportunities. So you go over to DKM Elite software. That helps you find these needle in the haystack opportunities that regular human beings just using their human brains and the free tools that are available cannot possibly do, okay? You quickly find those opportunities. You then run them through the profit calculator. So it tells you how much each one is going to make. And this helps you to be able to compare opportunities to each other. So if you know that you only want to get to say $2,000 a month, you can pick exactly the opportunities that when they're fully pursued have the potential to get you exactly that. Okay, you never go off into the dark not knowing how much money a thing's going to make, what you're going to have to do to make it. All of the information is there for you upfront. Remember, no uncertainty. Component 6, you get access to the digital worth community. It's really underrated. I mean, we talk a lot about how valuable it's going to be to have mentors like us there with you, but everyone who's been in our programs in the past will confirm for you how much value there is in just having other members around you. There's so many helpful people, so many great people in our audience that just love being there for others. They love coming out to help. They love coming out to say hi. There's real friendships that have been made, and I see them now on Facebook all the time. I'm looking at the Facebook page of one of our members and I see, oh, he's friends with that guy who was in our group and that lady who was in the group. And now they're buddies and they've made these little relationships and gone off and done cool things together. All of that's possible. That's what's going to happen when you're a member of this program. The staff Rolodex, I think I tried to explain that as well as possible, but it's hard to exaggerate how cool it is to have the opportunity to, without having to go out and find your own outsourced staff, without having to ask, oh, who's going to write this article for me? Who's going to help me make my site when I can't make it? I'm having this weird technical problem. What do I do? To have somebody who can always help you solve problems like this when you don't want to get work done or you don't have the time to complete a task in the week, it means you never slow down. Your progress is constant because there's always somebody to help. Okay, that's it. That's the 7 components of the digital worth program. The total value now, including that bonus, which unfortunately now is finished, but the total value is $7,824. You can join today for 3 payments of $797. Guys, imagine if all of this got you was $1,500 a month. That's getting up towards the cost of the program now. Imagine if all it got you was $1,500 a month. This is a student of ours from our previous program called Lauren, who I followed up with recently to see how she was going. She did really, really well. She worked hard on her site. And then, as far as I could tell, she kind of just left it. She kind of left her site coasting. In her own words, she goes, everything's well. I've been letting my site coast for about a year now. As we've been busy with a new house and other projects, it just kept growing on its own. She said my site peaked at around $3,600 a month in Christmas, and now it's leveled off to about $1,500 a month. It took a lot of work, but I'm really proud of my success, and the passive income is fantastic. It's a great security net. It was really cool to hear this. I almost didn't put it on the slides because I kind of just wanted to say to Lauren, and now we're going to have the chance to say it to her a lot because you'll also meet Lauren in the program, by the way. But I would love to have seen what happened if she just kept working on this site for a year. For a year, she was doing, I can't tell how little. Maybe she checked in on the side and did a little bit of work at some point in that year, but it kind of sounded like she did almost nothing, and it just ticked away for the year. That's not what you should be aiming for with this, right? Don't I don't want people to be pursuing this with the idea that this is what you should want, because it's just better to be continually working on it and keeping on growing your income. Or if you don't want to grow it anymore, sell the thing, take the 30 or 40x and get out of there and do something different. But that is possible. This definitely happens. Imagine if that was you. You would never remember the fact that you paid 3 payments of 797 for the course. That was Lauren's site. I just put the Amazon shot in there as well. As it's probably the point, we're getting ready to log off now. It's probably the point to ask what happens if you don't do this, okay? If you don't do it, will another year slip by before you have a breakthrough? You've obviously been trying to learn strategies for making a nice business online for some time. You've experienced the frustration of having it not work out when you thought it should. You don't want another year of that, right? And it happens. People get caught. We've spoken to so many people now in the lead up to this program who got caught in this cycle, and some of them told us they'd been doing this for 5 years of just kind of going around and getting to that point that we talked about at the start of the webinar, where you go anxiety, then frustration, and then disappointment, and then you start something new because you're so disappointed in what happened. You've got to do a different thing. So they start another business and they just keep going through this. 4 or 5 years, people have been stuck in this cycle. Nobody should have to go through that. It doesn't make sense. It's not necessary. Will you keep hearing about people from this program who became success stories and think, oh, that could have been me? You don't want to be the person who was on the same webinar that these people were on, and you realize that you missed out on the chance to get started with this. Other people took it and now they have what you want. That's an ugly feeling. You don't want that. What's the worst that could happen here, right? I can tell you the worst thing that happens is somehow it doesn't work out. Everybody is surprised, and Sarah and I buy your website off you for the cost of the program after we refund your money. You have literally nothing to lose here, guys. Okay, the link's still on screen there now. It's digitalworth.com/order. Of course, you've got the 100% money back guarantee. All you need to do is go to that link at the bottom of the screen, make your investment. We still have the $394 discount available. So you can do it for less than 3 payments of $797 if you want to save the most money. Log in and watch your first video. We're going to see you in there. I'm going to have a rest after this, but as soon as I wake up from that rest, I'm going to be in the members area. You're going to see Sarah and I poking around there. Guys, we really do appreciate you attending. I'm gonna leave that link there on screen just for a second so you can grab that. That's your 5 digital asset business ideas. That is a really cool PDF. You're gonna see, I mean, if you take what you've got in this PDF and you use it in combination with the strategies we've taught on this webinar, you can actually get a site like this up and running. It's pretty cool. Okay, so quickly grab that URL off the screen. I have to go back to this one so that we leave the order link there. It's digitalworth.com/gift.pdf. Okay. Let me go back to it. What do I want to put?
Yeah, I want to point out something that Jennifer pointed out, actually. There are no funnels to build here. Somebody asked before if you need to use software like Lead Pages, looks like funnels. There's no funnel building. There's no list building. There's no Facebook marketing. There's no Pinterest. And there's no guessing. That is something that Andrew and I have been studying for a long time. What makes people successful, and this guessing and uncertainty is a big one. And everything that you see here in the different components on the screen is designed to take away that guessing. So you have a certainty, so you know that you're on the right path. And we're there to help you with that as well. We'll actually happily check out whatever you're doing and tell you if you are on the right path or not. The idea is for you to know exactly what to do and exactly which steps to take, and stop being overwhelmed by all the noise that's out there and all the different tactics and techniques and everything that you hear about, that you get all these emails about. Here, when you join, you're going to be focused on the few things that you need to do in order to become successful. And when you do that, that's when you start seeing results, and that's when you start seeing testimonials and screenshots like you've seen before. These were all students of ours who started out on a webinar just like this, and heard about one of our courses just like this and joined, and now they are our model students. And hopefully you'll join and become one of those students as well, and we'll be using a screenshot of your income in the future.
A couple of people asked a question about the training session this Thursday. They said they're not going to be able to make it. It's not a big deal if you miss the training session this Thursday. Obviously, it's in your best interest to attend and to be there ready for it. But we know that there's going to be people joining at the last minute who might miss that. So everything that's going to be on that, we are going to recap the following, let's say, in the next training session anyway. We're going to be recapping that. So if you really can't make that session, don't worry too much about it. It's still better if you can be there for it. It's just cool to be able to work through the program at the same time as everybody else. So the better that you can do that, the better off you are.
Still answering some questions here. Lots of questions coming in. Lots more people joined.
Okay, so what have we got? I'm going to put the gift link in the chat there for people. Gift links in the chat. If you have any further questions, guys, we probably only have the next few minutes to ask them. I know we've missed a lot of questions. If we missed yours, could you send a note through to let us know?
Yeah, definitely do that. We've got a lot of people who just joined. Adam is in, and Wendy's in, and Barry, Nadine, Francis. Going to be seeing you soon. All sessions, all coaching calls will be recorded. And remember that in addition to the coaching calls, you're going to have video instructions in the members area. Those are different. Those are the actual instructions of what you should be doing. They're very short, like 5 to 10 minute videos with instructions that you follow. And the training sessions, the coaching calls are there for us to answer your questions that you have about the instructions. They will definitely be recorded. We do them at different time zones to help everybody get on at least one of those coaching calls. They're not mandatory. You get all the information that you need to be successful from the videos in the members area.
Somebody said they've got an existing site that's getting about 50 views a day. Can this help me ramp that up? Yeah, definitely, maybe. We mentioned earlier in the presentation, we will review sites that you have to make sure that they're going to be a fit for the program. And if they are, then you can definitely keep building out something that you already have going. John has joined. Welcome, John. There's another RC has joined us as well. Good to see you. Lucas, I'm not sure whether you will be in the first 20 or not. We'll be in touch with you after the webinar to confirm about that.
Yeah, some people asked if they're in the first 20. We will send an email to the first 20 to let them know.
Someone said, how long is it going to take to have your site live? So we'll be covering that in the second section of the course. And it's not really timed in the way where if you just keep working through all the modules, you can start building your site at the earliest point. The first section is about picking your markets and doing the commission wizard stuff, doing the diamond keyword miner and profit calculator stuff. And after that, you put your site up. So most people will be doing that. What do you think, Sarah, in the first few weeks?
Yep, definitely. It really depends. So see a question here. Is this something I can work on when I have time? I have kids on a busy schedule, and yes, of course. I know what it's like. Again, I have 7 kids and a busy schedule, and it's definitely something that you can work on whenever you have the time. We recommend an hour a day. You do what you can, and of course, the more time you put into it, the better, and the more money and faster income you will get. But an hour a day, if you can manage that, then you're good.
If we missed your question, please send it through in the chat box again. I think we'll make this, I already said this once, we have to make this the last couple of minutes now. I need food. And of course, I got a cold right before having to present these workshops to you. So I've been trying to eat cough lollies and drink water through the course of the presentation. And thank you to Jen for pointing out that I sound horrible. Thanks, Jen. I'm just kidding, Jen. You've been super helpful in this webinar. Thank you for coming again.
Oh, hey, a good question here from Ethan. Is business coaching limited to 6 months, and also is the access to Digital Worth Academy limited as well? It is not limited to 6 months. It is open. We don't close it. You can use it for as long as you want. Officially, the coaching calls are for 6 months, but with us, you never know. We enjoy this so much that we can definitely go longer.
Any other questions? There's a couple of questions that are just a bit too tricky to answer. Susan, yours takes a bit longer an explanation than we can give exactly right now. The support link, I'll put that in the chat box now before we log off. If you have further questions that we didn't get to answer, please send them through to us at the link or the email that's now in the chat box, support@digitalworth.com. We can follow up with you after the webinar to talk about that. Oh, another John is in. Hello. Oh, John wants to be able to review the webinar. I can't promise that that's going to be available, unfortunately, John, but everything you need from this point on will be inside the membership area if you have joined. So, and if there's not, I mean, you've got unlimited personal attention now, so we'll be able to take care of it for you. Don't worry too much about that. Is access to the software permanent? Yes, it is. Carlos said, how many articles do you need to make the site profitable? We talked about that on the common questions slide. The answer is, how much money do you want to make? The articles that we do now, since you asked, are I will not publish something on our site that's less than 1,000 words, and even that is well, 1,000 words is good, but it depends a lot on the niche. My main niche is one that needs more writing now than some others. So a lot of sites you don't need 1,000 words. You don't need quite 1,000 words, but also you don't want to be going much lower than that. The quality has to be really high. How many do you need? Well, how many $76 a month income streams do you want? You shouldn't think of this like, oh, well, all I have to do is get 10 articles on the site and then I'm making money. You should think of it as, I'm just going to keep these things I know will be profitable because the calculator told me. I'm just going to do as many of them as I humanly can. I'm going to see how high my income gets. That's the mindset to use.
Right, and I also want to point out that in the training we show you how to format your articles, how to write them, and we help you out with that.
I love that the Aussies are now just taking advantage to roar at me. I'm not gonna say the joke that was just given. So someone said, how do you start generating traffic from the beginning? The first visitors that you get to this site, there's one exception to this, but the first visitors that you get to this site will be from search engines. It takes a little bit of time to get off the ground, to get the wheels running on a new site, but what will happen is that you'll slowly see this trickle turn into a kind of snowball, and all of the efforts will multiply, and it will end up coming together more quickly than you expected after the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, to answer a question here, the profit calculator tells you that your chance has a good chance that your site has a good chance of being profitable before you make your site. We use it before making the site. So adding to the certainty here and no guessing, that's what it's for.
Somebody asked before, what does the profit calculator have an ability to tell us with how much certainty? Oh, sorry, how likely is it that you'll get to $400 a month with this? And how likely is it that you'll get to $300 a month with this, or whatever? And I wrote back to them and said that we don't have that feature. There's no like probability calculation element in there. But I realized we don't need that because we didn't get to demonstrate it fully. But what the profit calculator does is uses these sliders so that it tells you if you enter this market and if you get to this amount of traffic, like if you get to ranking in this position, it will make you this amount of money. But if you can get to ranking in this position, it will make you this amount of money. And you can keep moving it along to see how your income will change depending on how well you do when you get into that market. So it gives you a maximum and a minimum sort of potential as well. I love profit calculator.
Me too. I don't think I've ever, Jennifer points out, and she's right, I don't think I've ever seen anybody else offer anything like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, guys, I think we probably have to shut things down now. In the chat box, you have got your link to join, digitalworth.com/order. Please save that. If something goes differently to what we expect in the next couple of days, and spaces do end up filling up, at least if you have that link open, you might be able to squeeze in as one of the last ones. So keep that page open on your screen, digitalworth.com/order. If you need to ask us anything else, if we didn't get to your question or you had something pressing that we couldn't cover, support@digitalworth.com. Introduce yourself at the support desk. We should be able to help you there. I hope you've got the link to the free gift now. Robert is in at the last minute. Well done, Robert. Excuse me. Guys, what did you think about this webinar, by the way, now that we've gotten this far into it? Did everybody feel like they got value from this? Did you learn something that you didn't know before? Did you feel more excited about building this kind of business than you did before? I hope so.
A number of people wrote that before you even asked, that this was a very valuable and even life-changing webinar. It was awesome, Christine says. A lot of people are saying that it was great.
That's what I want to hear.
I think people really get the what we're doing with getting mentions on very popular magazines and government sites and all these places. People who have been doing this kind of thing and developing this kind of site before were very, very interested in this part because they know how effective that can be.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of questions about that, and I really do want to apologize for people who asked for more information on the webinar. It's impossible to cover everything in 60 minutes, but there is a lot of information about this in the training. For those of you who asked, will we teach you how to do that? Yes. This is a big part of what we do now. It works extremely well, and you'll totally get that when you join the course.
Sarah, I didn't tell you this is a ridiculous note to end on, but why not? Somebody at the beginning of the webinar asked me in the live chat, they said, type blueberries to prove that this is live. And I actually did. I felt so slighted that he was suggesting that he didn't believe that it was live. I actually typed blueberries in the chat.
So you know what? I looked in the chat. I did not see his question, but I saw you typing blueberries, and I had no idea why you would type blueberries.
You're like, why? Absolutely ridiculous. All right, guys, we've got to go. Thank you so much for attending and for giving us your time tonight. I really appreciate all of those of you who've mentioned that you found it worthwhile. If you get to join Digital Worth Academy, we're going to see you soon. We're so excited to get started with this and to start building that success story of your own. If you have any further questions, send them through at the support desk. We look forward to helping you. I think that's everything, Sarah.
Yeah, I very much look forward to seeing you on here. Lots of people joined. We have a really nice group, and I'm going to see you in the members area.
All right, bye, guys. We're going to log off now.
Bye-bye.
Take care.